Hello friends, and welcome to Escaping the Mouse with your host, me, Breck Roll. Alright, we're going to do another Bytes and Nibbles segment today. As you know, I often do something in the Instant Pot or do some sort of an entree. Tonight we're going to switch gears a little bit and we're going to make a dessert. I love a lot of desserts, and one of the things I love is a good carrot cake. And I found an interesting carrot cake recipe, and we're going to try that today. I haven't actually ever had this particular recipe before, but it looks like all the ingredients are in it. They're really good. So we're going to see how that turns out. So let's get going. Now these are the ingredients for our carrot cake recipe. Now there's two parts to the recipe. There's the carrot cake itself and the frosting. So I've got the ingredients for all of the above here. So let's take a look at them. First off, carrots, of course, because you can't make a carrot cake without carrots. Some baking soda, some cooking oil, a little flour, some granulated sugar, raisins, cinnamon, chopped nuts, in this case walnuts, vanilla extract, some eggs, some crushed pineapple, some confectioners or powdered sugar, and a little bit of cream cheese and unsalted butter. So let's get going. So the first thing you want to do is preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Now I've mentioned this before, when I'm vlogging it takes a little bit longer to prepare the ingredients than it does when you're preparing it and not filming yourself. So I'm going to preheat it a little later, but if you're doing it for real, you should preheat your oven now. Alright, so I'm going to start by combining 2 cups of granulated sugar with 1 cup of cooking oil, and then we're going to kind of all blend that all together. Alright, we've got that blended pretty good. Got all the solid sugar kind of mixed in real well. Next I'm going to combine 3 eggs, which I've kind of whipped together. 2 cups of grated carrots. I did that in the food processor. And the pineapple. And then I'm going to kind of mix that together. Now I could do that with a spoon, but hey, I got the mixer, might as well use it, right? So we'll let that happen, and we're going to prepare the next couple of ingredients. We'll catch up with this in a minute. Next I'm going to sift together 3 cups of flour and 1 teaspoon each of cinnamon and baking soda. Now I don't actually have a sifter, but the point of sifting is just to kind of aerate everything and get it all mixed up. So what I usually do is use a little strainer like this, and I'll pour my mixture in there. I'm going to do about half of it at a time. And basically I'll just kind of do this, and this kind of accomplishes the same thing as the sifting. It's breaking up all the little chunks and getting everything kind of mixed together. And it works pretty well. I've done this a bunch of times and this seems to work really well. And there is my sifted baking soda, flour, and cinnamon. So next I'm going to kind of just slowly spoon this into my mixture, which is still on the blender over there, and we'll keep this going here. Alright, I decided to move the Instant Pot out of the way because that is not the star of our show today. And I'm just going to kind of spoon this in a little bit at a time. Get it all kind of mixed in there real nice. Kind of getting to the point where we're at the end here. We'll just kind of pour the rest of it in here. And we're just going to let that mix for a little bit. Catch up with you in a minute. Alright, last but not least, I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract and a 1.5 cups each of raisins and walnuts. The walnuts are in there, they're just on the bottom. And we're just going to kind of mix that all in there together. We'll let that mix for a few minutes, and then we're going to put it into a pan. And while the batter finishes up, I am going to coat a 9x13 pan with a little cooking spray. And then I am just going to pour my batter into the pan here. Use a rubber scraper to kind of make sure we get all the good stuff out. That looks good. And into the oven we go for 45 to 50 minutes. Now while we're waiting for the carrot cake to cook, we're also going to prepare the frosting. So what I've got is I've got a pound of cream cheese in my mixer. I'm going to turn on the mixer to about a medium speed. We're going to add a little vanilla extract, 2 teaspoons to be exact. And then we are going to gradually add in some unsalted butter. Now I've left these kind of at room temperature for a while because you want it to kind of be at room temperature, both the butter and the cream cheese. Alright, we're going to let that mix for a little while until it gets creamy, although it is sort of creamy right now, right? Alright, so I got that mixed to kind of a creamy consistency. I'm going to slow down the speed a little bit, and we are going to gradually add in 2 pounds of powdered sugar. Now, the instructions say you want to sift this, and so I sifted it the same way I sifted the flour. Pounds of sugar sounds like an awful lot, but that's what the instructions say. Now once I got all the sugar kind of mixed in a little bit, I increased the speed a little bit just to keep it, to get it nice and mixed together. You want to keep the speed really slow initially until the sugar all mixes in, or else the sugar will definitely erupt out of the bowl, and that makes a big mess. I did that a little bit, and I have a little bit of a mess, but I can imagine how that could get a lot worse. But once all the sugar is mixed in, then I've increased the speed of the mixer back to about half speed. And that's starting to look pretty good, isn't it? I'm just going to keep this moving now for a while until the carrot cake comes out of the oven, and we'll move on to the next phase of this. Alright, we're about halfway through the cooking phase. It's starting to rise, and it's looking pretty good. So, see you in a little bit. Alright, 45 minutes have passed. Let's pull this out and see how we look. Oh yeah, that looks yummy. Smells good too. We're going to leave that there for a little while, let it cool off before we put the frosting on. But yeah, that looks pretty good. Yeah, that smells really good. Looks pretty good too, huh? So we'll come back to this in about 20 minutes when it's had a chance to cool off, and we'll put some frosting on this. Alright, so a little bit of time has passed. The carrot cake has cooled off a little bit, and I've actually applied the frosting. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm not actually going to give this thing a taste test tonight. We're going to let it kind of set up in the refrigerator overnight, and we'll give it a taste test in the morning. So right there, though, it looks pretty good, doesn't it? Huh? Hell, it's good enough to eat. And I've tasted the frosting. The frosting is amazing. So looking forward to seeing how good this is. But like I said, it smelled really good coming out of the oven, and the frosting's really good. So I expect when this thing sets up overnight, it's going to be amazing. So we'll check this thing out in the morning. You won't have to wait very long because it will be the next scene, which begins right now. All right, here we go. Taste test time. Oh yeah, that's good. I have to admit I had a little bit of apprehension about putting nuts and raisins in that, but that was actually a really good option. And the frosting really brings out the flavor. It's got a good sweet flavor. It's nice and moist. I can't complain about this at all. Very good. Yeah, delicious. Like I said, I pieced together 2 recipes. The carrot cake is one recipe, and the frosting is something I found online. But they work well together, and I definitely recommend it that way. You can do it without the frosting if you want, but I think it really adds to the flavor. It's very, very good, very, very sweet, which is is a good thing. So anyway, I think I'm gonna end this video right now. I'll put the recipe in the description below, and I hope you try this one. This one's really good. So that's all that I have for today. Thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you next time on Escaping the Mouse. Bon appetit!